Hello, my name is Damaris, and I will be introducing our topic of focus, which is refugees. Imagine the scene of a 5-year-old girl sitting in a Texas courtroom away from her parents and caregivers, being asked to sign a plea deal to bar her from seeking asylum in the United States. This 5-year-old girl and her family suffered from death threats and was at risk for violence in her home country. She and her family were forced to leave to seek a better chance of survival in a different country such as the United States. Just like this family, there are many people who are forced to flee from their home of origin due to issues of war, persecution, and suffering or at risk for violence. These people are known as refugees. According to the UN Refugee Agency, there are 24.5 million refugees worldwide, and in 2018, there were 22,491 refugees who resettled here in the United States. Over the years, this number has steadily decreased due to more rigorous procedures to obtain asylum or legal protection as a refugee here in the United States. The majority of refugees who are forced to flee are persons with disabilities or medical needs that cannot survive without the necessary medical benefits, children who suffer from abuse and neglect, women and girls who are at risk for violence, as well as people who are survivors of violence and torture. The top 3 countries of origin for refugees are the Democratic Republic of Congo, Myanmar, and the Ukraine. There is a common misconception that people entering the United States fit the label of being illegal immigrants. However, there are different categories. The categories for immigrants are those who move from one country to another, mainly for economic reasons. Then, there are refugees, those who move because of wars and fear of persecution. Asylee, those in the United States illegally or arriving at the ports of entry who wish to apply for asylum. An asylum seeker are those who claim to be refugees but whose legal right has not been established and who have applied for asylum outside of the United States. Even though these categories in practice are not always clearly defined, there are laws that guide each of them. For example, in theory, immigrants can return to their home without the fear of imprisonment or death. Even though they may be returning to relatively poverty, they will not face immediate violence or imprisonment. However, according to the UN Refugee Agency, refugees are those who cannot go back home because of a well-founded fear of persecution for reasons of race, religion, nationality, political opinion, or membership in a particular social group. War and ethnic, tribal, and religious violence are the leading causes of refugees fleeing their countries. Ultimately, these human lives that are at risk, so becoming a refugee is basically their last hope for survival. In a well-developed country such as the United States, whose decisions have a worldwide impact, it should be a moral responsibility to provide a safe place for the affected to find refuge in.